Welcome back. Today we're doing a craft project inspired by the changing seasons. Jennifer Ackerman-Haywood from the Grand Rapids Press and the website CraftSanity.com is here to show us how to make a fall scene out of felt. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, this time I was inspired by my daughters once again. They like to draw.
You do the coolest things with their drawings.
Yeah, well, what I was asked to do a submission for a craft magazine, and I thought I was going to just do softies, and they said use fall colors. So I thought, okay, I can handle that. So I said to Abby, my 5-year-old, let's make some softies in fall colors. So I need you to draw a picture. She goes, Mom, if it's fall colors, why don't we do leaves with faces? And I'm like, this is like a brilliant idea. I never would have thought of that. Never would have thought of that. So this is what I did. What I had is my niece and my 2 daughters draw these little.
Look at how sweet.
These are little leaves that they made with just faces on them.
Very cool.
Yeah, so what I did then is I just traced it with a Sharpie. And then I'm using a light box here to trace through to the felt, but you can use a window.
Yeah, I just put it on my slider.
Yeah, that's the cheapest way to do it. I work after midnight a lot of the time, so
you need that.
I need a light box, which you can get at craft stores, and they're not very expensive. Okay, so what you do is you can use a pencil, you can use water-soluble pens if you want to get fancy, but you don't need to. You just trace it. You want to have your outline. And then tracing this is going to be hard to show up on TV, but basically you guys get the idea. I traced this one with a Sharpie so you can see. You're just tracing that design. You want to have a back as well. The next step is to start embroidering. You just trace over any kind of facial features. I'm just using regular embroidery floss.
Yep.
Just in just a back stitch, very simple stitch.
However they draw them is how you stitch them.
Exactly, and they're so fun, you know.
They're darling. And because they're kids' drawings, it's a very inexact science, which makes it really easy on Mom too.
Exactly right. You don't have to be like totally perfect.
Yeah.
And then the next step is what I did here is just use. We thought falling leaves with arms and legs would be funny.
Cute.
So you just put one piece after you get this embroidered. You just put one piece across.
And this is just chunks of yarn, guys.
Yeah, I'm just using like wool yarn. I tied knots on the end, so you have arms going across and legs here. Okay, and then the next step, I went around and just sewed her on the edge. Very, very simple.
With your machine?
Yes, and I left about 1.5 inches to 2 inches on the side where you stuff it.
This is where it becomes a softie.
Yeah, this is where you just use your regular fiber fill, start stuffing it here. And then you don't want to put too much, because you want to put this back in under your machine. So that's what you got to think about, is that you're going to be sewing this again. And the reason you're going to sew it again is to make the vein of the leaf. Now, I wasn't even going to do that part, but Abby's like, Mom, leaves have a vein.
And it's such a neat idea.
Yeah, and it gives it some definition. And so then you're left with, you have all these softies. So then I decided, this was not even part of what the editors were looking for.
Tree.
I made a tree, and what I did is I just drew on a craft paper. You can even take your brown paper bags, tape a couple together, made a big tree. And if your child's old enough, they can draw the tree. The key is you want to have fat limbs, because if they're too narrow, you'll never be able to stuff them.
Got it.
Get them to stand up.
And the cool thing about this is, it's not something you have to turn back. Your seams are on the outside. You want it to look higgledy-piggledy
because
like that.
it would be a little bit of an undertaking to try to turn this. I mean, you would be just, that would be.
Look at that leaf. He looks like he's in a crisis on that branch.
Yeah, and so what I did is this would be good for schools, like for teachers in the classroom. You have each kid draw a leaf, and then try to get some room moms to come in and help turn these into something. And then I pinned it to a piece of muslin, so it looks like the leaves are falling.
Cool.
You also can make a little swag.
Cute.
And just have them hanging around your house, tie them together.
They're wonderful.
And it's just one of those examples of what you can do with kids' drawings. And the kids get such a charge out of seeing their drawing kind of personified and brought to life.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
And they do come to life. Okay, your column on Sunday.
Yes, I went out and did a little pre-art prize. You know, everyone's caught up with art prize. It's such a fantastic thing going on. So I went out and did a little visit around town to see some of the things that are going on. So I take kind of a broad approach, but do kind of focus in on a couple artists. There's Stephanie Kirkbride and Liz DeBraver. They have a really cool 3-dimensional spiral that you can actually walk in. It's called Haven, and we'll have information about where to find them and check out their exhibit.
And so much to see in Grand Rapids in the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Check out the Grand Rapids Press on Sunday. Also, more information on our website, WZZM13.com. Just click on Take 5 links. When we come back, we're going to talk flowers with Jay. Stay with us, please.